Hi guys, I'm Aussie and welcome to episode 44 of the First Star Challenge with Everton, and today it's a transfer special. All the work will be done here in my office, there won't be any games, and what we're going to try and do is build a team that's going to win both the Premier League and the Champions League for next season. And the first thing we need to do obviously is get rid of Jordan Pickford, because he was the biggest obstacle in terms of winning the Champions League last season. So, now these episodes, they can go a little bit longer than normal. It's difficult to keep track of how long they're going when I'm sort of cutting in and out through all of the off-season. So apologies if it goes a little bit longer than normal, but let's have a look at let's start by having a look at the squad that we have. Let's get this episode underway. It is the morning after the end of season awards. Everybody's a little bit hungover, and we are going to start planning for next season. Now let's begin by having a quick look at the squad, where we stand, who we want to get rid of, who we want to keep. If we look at appearances, Jordan Pickford's top of that list. He's also top of my list to get rid of. I've had enough of him now. He's still annoyed that I've broken too many promises. He's transfer listed by request, which is really annoying, so I don't get to have the satisfaction of actually transfer listing him. I'm going to just get rid of an asking price and just see what happens. Not needed. And that, hopefully, will be the end of Jordan Pickford. Now, we do need to probably get somebody in. We do have Rajkovic, though, so it's not a do or die. I want to get somebody in, obviously, to replace him, but it's not necessarily a do or die thing. Other good news, we've had David Selke have a quick talk to Nick Stark here. He doesn't want to leave anymore. He's happy at the club. Excellent news. And you can see, I mean, some of the really, really good player ratings that we had this year. These guys are the ones that are playing. So we're not too... See, Rajkovic, 704 average rating from his 20 games. So he's fine. Where we're looking more is down here is who we want to get rid of. Now, Nicola Morrow, was injured for most of the year. So I'm not taking that into account too much. Whether we keep him or not is a different question. He's not quite developing the way I'd hoped, to be honest. So we might see how we do. He's not on ridiculous wages, so he might be a good backup. If we work our way back up the list here, Pennington's English. We are 2 English players over our limit right now. So we can afford to replace 2 English players with foreign players, but that's it. If we sort of pencil in Pickford for one of those, given that he's England's number 1, any English kid we sign is likely going to be a downgrade. So that's probably one, so that gives us one other spot. Other people we want to get rid of here, Wilmer Barrios is top of that list as well. He's second on the list anyway. Other than that, I mean, you're looking at maybe an upgrade at left back with Anthony Robinson. I think we could definitely do an upgrade there. Whether we can afford one is another thing. With the rest of the squad, there's nobody really. Seamus Coleman, I think, not that he's done badly, but at 32, if there's some interest there for him, 70 grand a week, that he might be one. His contract's up the end of next year, which means we're probably not going to renew it anyway. So we might look to get him out. But otherwise, I'm relatively happy with the squad. If we look at goals, we can see Selke led the way. Bolo's absolutely smashed it away on loan, as you can see. I just don't think he's going to be. We're going to have to register him because he's over 21, and I just don't quite think that he's that good. And let's be honest, it might be a good time to sell him after he's knocked in 14 goals. Vlasic, 14 goals. Calvert-Lewin, 11, all of which came against Real Madrid I think in one episode. Bernard there with 10. Cook his best season, which is good to see, at 8. Now, he's still only young, only 17, so I mean, to be getting 8 goals already, I'm really happy with how he's going. Tom Davies with 8. Gomez, Richarlison, Canente, 5 goals, 7 assists from 15 starts. He's an absolute god in the making, this guy. Yeah, really happy with how he's going as well. Stark, look, you can see we had a lot of... I was really happy with so much about the way we played this year. It's just we didn't get across the line in any well, apart from the Carabao Cup. Sis, we know that Digne got the golden spoon, but look at them queuing up behind him with 9. Gomez, Richarlison, Rafinha, who I think was our player of the season. Maybe he didn't play enough games. Maybe that's some of the problem there. Bernard, Canente, Foden, Davies. Look, I mean, we scored so many goals, so many assists, and we just couldn't quite get anything across the line. Quick update on the finances so you can sort of see where we are with that. Despite doing really well, we've got a transfer budget to come, but we're still just hovering around that 40 million mark. The problem's this: 400 grand a week in loan over $500,000 a month, I should say, in loan repayments. That's going to be up. The 400 grand a month is still going for another couple of 7 years. So the club is absolutely crippled by debt. And if the chairman ever leaves and these loans come in, God help us all. Because that would not be a good thing at all. But anyway, that's the way finances look. Now, if we look at the under 23s, kind of see how we're going here. Another reason why I'm tempted to let Coleman go Now, we know we have Bastian Travart here. He's coming in for next season. He was away on loan for the end of this year at, was it Sochaux we signed him from? Yeah, Sochaux. So he's coming in. That's another striker. This guy that we picked up on a free, Cody Jamar, Jamar, wouldn't it? Jamay. Absolutely just has become this superstar right back. So I'm wondering, again, let Coleman go, save 70 grand in wages, and I think we have a backup already here. John Joe Kenny becomes number one, Milo and this guy kind of share the backup role. Stu Hawley is coming back for loan. He's done okay, only 17. We could look to sort of usher him towards the first team squad. Ryan Astley here is another one we could start to sort of usher into the first team squad. This guy I'm not convinced about because he's not really a striker as I like to use them. I've been trying to send him out on loan for a little while. I don't actually think we've ever sent him out. No one's actually ever come. Oh no, last year we did send him out. He did okay. But no, I just don't think he's anything special. So we might look to move him on. And then we got him down into sort of the maybe come off, maybe don't. Now if we go to the under 18s, now again we have some good options here. Now if we're looking for a goalkeeper, this kid, Peter Goodwin, is on his way up. He's only 15. So he's not ready in any way, shape or form yet. But I tell you what, this time next year at 16, he could well be ready to take the number 2 role. He's developing that quickly. So we'll keep an eye on him. Nathan Edwards here as a central defender. If you don't want to have any of these guys named after you, ready for next season, let me know, or the Academy Regens. I do like to name them after you. Joe Willoughby here, again, a backup keeper. He's not quite ready for the first team yet. We do need to get somebody in. And then we have Kissock, defender, is decent. None of these guys are ready yet, and they won't really affect the way I do transfers, because I don't think they're going to be ready next season. This guy could be Brian Rittenberg. We might actually put him in the under 23s now. He's 17 already. He's definitely ready for the step up, I would say. So that's what we're looking to do. That's sort of the state of the club. I'll be back when we have something to report. Hopefully the first thing we'll do is get Jordan Pickford out the door. Okay, our first little bit of news. There has been an offer come in for Wilmer Barrios from Fiorentina in Italy. 12 million with an add-on, so it'd be 15.6 million overall. Don't have to pay any of his wages, which is perfect. So hopefully that'll happen and we'll get him out the door. I had made an offer to try and replace him with Wilfred Ndidi. I think he's a really, really good. He's almost perfect for what we want. Couple of problems. The £43 million transfer fee wasn't ideal, but we could afford it. His contract, he wanted 115 grand a week. The agent wanted 10 million. His sign-on fee was about 6 or 7 million. It was going to become a 70 million pound transfer, and that for a defensive midfielder when we definitely know we need a keeper to come in. That was just a little bit too much, all told. So I've stopped it for now. He's also wanted by Paris and both the Madrid clubs. So whether we could actually get him is another thing as well. The other thing we do need to have a look at is our loan players, Denny Drinkwater and Phil Foden, and think of, do we keep them? I really, really like Denny Drinkwater. I don't usually like older players. I really, really like Denny Drinkwater. His contract is up at Chelsea at the end of this year. When it expires, we will have a sneaky go at him. Oh no, it's up next year, is it? Well, we'll try and get him back on loan again. We'll see. I thought his contract was up at the end of this year. Obviously not. So we might try and get him back on loan again if we can. If we can do the 30 grand a week, absolutely perfect. He'll be 32 at that point, and we may need to just let him go. And the other one's Phil Foden. Do we need Phil Foden? This sort of is my question for him. We probably don't, but he's a really good player, and you sort of want good players in your team. So we'll wait and see when that comes up what we do. The other thing I'm thinking about with Barros is, do we actually need to replace him at all? Because we have Stuart Taylor, who we're kind of retraining to play the anchorman role, just simply because he sort of lacks a little bit in jumping reach for a centre-back for my personal taste. I'm wondering if we just look to use him and we do have Sander Berg as well, who we can play in there. We do have Alex Denny, though we might need to register him in a squad, and he's not the best. But could we get away with just Sander Berg? Stark Pennington did okay up there as well. Could we kind of get by without signing a replacement? I think we might be able to, but ideally I would like to get somebody else in. No movement on the Jordan Pickford front. We're trying. It's just Watford that's interested in him still. Not Watford, Fulham. Yeah, so we'll keep trying on that one. I found one or two keepers that I like. Actually, I'll go and show you who they are. So I actually have no concerns about getting rid of Pickford now. That's where I was looking at centre-backs. Let's go back to goalkeepers. One of them, actually, I wonder if it's from Fiorentina. I wonder if we could have worked this into the Barrios deal in some way. But Albin Lafont, I have heard the name. He looks an absolute star. 22 years old as well. So his first choice, if we can get him in, we will do 100%. The second one I'm looking at here is Benjamin Popovic. Now, bear in mind we have our youngster coming through as well, so we don't necessarily need a really young goalkeeper, but this guy for 17 is an absolute star. There's a couple of real weaknesses. Rushing out is really poor, and so is first touch. Lafont doesn't have those weaknesses, so that's why we're looking at him as sort of our first choice. I did have a look at De Gea. He's not happy. The transfer fee's doable. It's about 50 million, but his wages are going to be the problem there. He's on 230. The scouts estimate he won about 170, 180 a week. So that's a little bit out of our range right now. So it doesn't look like that's going to come off for us. But we'll keep trying. The first thing is we need to make sure we get Pickford out because we can't pay his wages plus another big keeper's wages. Okay, we have our commercial summary. I always think this is interesting to look at. You can see sponsorship deals were up. We signed a new deal, 90 million over 4 years. So that's good. I don't know who the telecommunications company is. Maybe it's BT. Could be Sky. Could be anybody. We're speculating. Sponsorship was actually down, which is a little bit annoying. Corporate hospitality up. All those prawn sandwiches going out the door. Match day income was up ever so slightly. Broadcast revenues were down. I'm assuming that's to do with the Champions League that we didn't go all the way to the final this year. Competition prize money obviously down as well because of that. But this is what I like. It's the merchandise. Who's buying what shirt? We sold 7.38 million of worth of shirts, totaling non-domestic, about 10%, which is I think about standard. Calvert-Lewin, he has a statue. Obviously now people are buying his jersey. He's a local boy as well, so that surprises me a little bit. Fans' favourite. Selke, not surprising. Rafinha doesn't surprise me. Neither does Bernard or Davies. 4 of those 5 are very predictable. Calvert-Lewin, perhaps a surprise. But like I say, you get 4 goals against Real Madrid. You win a Carabao Cup final. People are going to buy your shirt, aren't they? Okay, first job of the window is done. Wilmer Barrios has left the club officially. He's gone to Fiorentina, 15.5 million. Job done there. Man out. Gives us a chance now we can look to get somebody else in. I feel like he should have done better. He just never really did it for us, did he? That red card against Madrid was just the final straw as far as I was concerned. Anyway, we'll look to get a replacement in for him, perhaps, and we'll come back hopefully with a new signing or Jordan Pickford out the door. We did have one bid come in, 11 million from Atalanta in Italy. I laughed at them and rejected it. Alright, another potential out. Seamus Coleman, I offered him around. I sat here, it's May 27th now. I sat here for the best part of a month deciding whether or not we should offer him out. He's 32. His contract's up the end of this coming season. I thought, let's just offer him out. He's on 70 grand a week. See what happens. Watford coming with a 25 million pound bid. We snapped their hand off for it. I'm currently driving him down the M6. It's the M6, right? Down to Watford. He's not happy about it. He's annoyed. He's a team leader, which is a big risk. But 25 million for a 32-year-old, I think, is too good to turn down. Especially when you consider, I think John Joe Shelvey is now officially our best right back. So that's fine. John Joe Kenny. We also have Milo, who we bought in with the specific task of replacing Seamus Coleman. He's coming along nicely. And then, as I said right at the start there, we also have, where is he gone? Jamay, who is very, very capable of playing in the Premier League as well. So we'll call him into the Premier League squad, actually. So £25 million for Seamus Coleman would be absolutely amazing. So I'm hoping that deal goes through now. And then still nothing on Pickford, though. I thought this might be of interest to everybody. Paris went on and won the Champions League on penalties against Chelsea. So Jordan Pickford cost us against the eventual champions. We should have been Champions League winners this year, guys. We should have done it. So this is a problem. We now have a team leader that has rejected the contract of Watford and is now annoyed at me for trying to force him out of the club. Alright, the first signs of poachers, of vultures around our stars this summer. Monaco has come in with a bid for Davy Selke, up to 50 million. We're not going to accept it. What did we pay for Davy Selke? We paid a little. No, we didn't pay that much for him at all, did we? We did pay a lot. We paid 30 million. He's worth every cent of that. We would make a profit on it, but we're not going to accept it, obviously, because it's Davy Selke. Alright, now the time has come to decide what to do about Foden and Drinkwater. Their loans are coming to an end. Foden, I take him back. City are looking to use him in the first team, so that's not going to happen. I don't know, if we make offer, it'll be rejected. No, they don't want it. They're not letting us suggest offer. So Foden won't be coming back. Denny Drinkwater, they want the same deal. I tell you what, I'll take it. Actually, let's just suggest it so that they can accept it. There we go. Yeah, I'll keep taking him back, to be honest. 30 grand a week for an experienced midfielder. He's always done well for us, especially, as I said, I keep saying that deep line playmaker role. He's been consistent without being outstanding. Yeah, I like the fact that we'll have him again next season, it looks like. So that's good news on Denny Drinkwater. Alright, a few updates here. Seamus Coleman has rejected Fulham, which is annoying, but we'll try again to find him a club. We have a commercial partnership with Columbus Crew in Soccer Club in the American League there. So that was supposedly going to bring us a nice little boost into revenue, merchandise sales. So hopefully we'll see a benefit from that. And it is confirmed we have Denny Drinkwater for another year. So that's the first. It's not really an in so much as a stay. Oh, who could this be? Hello. Speaking. It's done. Are you sure? Okay, he's in London. There's no way out of this. So contract is signed. Money's in the bank. You have made my day. Thank you. Now I'll get my rave on. This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill. Jordan Pickford has left the club. A little bit less than I would have liked. Only 18.25 million. I don't care, to be honest. I do not care. He's out of the club. Wages are off the books. That is just, it's made my day. It's just made my day. He's even got himself a pay rise, that sneaky little bastard. But anyway, that doesn't matter. Jordan Pickford has left. We've probably been ripped off a little bit, but as I said, I just don't care. Okay, Operation Replace Jordan Pickford is fully underway now. I wasted no time, pretty much same day stuff going on here. So there's two options that we found. We've had two bids accepted and we're up to negotiating contracts. The first is with Kepa of Chelsea, of course. Offer for 43 million up front, rising to 57 with appearances and winning Premier Leagues and European Champions Leagues. A very, very good keeper. And obviously, Alban Lafont was the other one that we were looking at. Now, we've had a bid accepted here. 50 million rising up to 65 million. Yeah, 50 million rising up to 65. So a little bit more expensive up front. Now, if we do look at them and compare them, we can see here they're relatively similar. I did have a look at David De Gea. It's not really doable. Transfer fee and wages aren't really doable. You can see Lafont is better. Shot stopping physically with speed. Mentally, they're roughly even, and where Kepa comes in front is in communication. Eccentricity doesn't really matter, but they're both low numbers anyway. They're relatively even in these areas, but I think overall, what was his name? Lafont is just slightly better, but they're essentially roughly the same. Now, you can already see the differences here, can't you? Weekly wage is what is going to be the determining factor here. Now, we have both their contract with their initial requests, I guess, up. 95k a week for Lafont. That's still, what's that already? Like 55 grand a week cheaper than Jordan Pickford. 195 grand a week for Kepa. It's 100 grand a week difference. We're not going to say no to Kepa just yet, but Lafont is looking as though he's going to be the preferred option here. Okay, Seamus Coleman has left the club, £15 million. We're not paying any of his wages again, which is nice. Goes through on the 3rd of July, same day as Barrios' transfer will officially go through. Served us well. Nothing bad to say about the guy, but he was on 70 grand a week. His contract was up the end of this coming season. I don't think we were going to use him or renew him after that. So we've essentially got ourselves 50 million this year rather than losing it for him for nothing next year. And like I say, we do have options at right back, other good options. We have John Joe Kenny, who is evermore first choice. We have this Cody Dramé, who is a good young prospect. We have Loic Milo, who was essentially brought in to replace him anyway. And we also have Holgate, who I forgot before. Holgate's more than capable of playing over there as well. So I really don't think we would have used Coleman. I don't think we're going to miss him, let's put it that way. I don't think we would have used him that much this year. There's other options. We we have a signing, and it's not the keeper that you're expecting it to be. It's Axel Witsel. We've signed him from Borussia Dortmund, 12.75 million. I don't. That's just a flat fee. There's no raising up from there. But what this guy has essentially come in to replace what's his face, Barrios. Defensive midfielder. He's very, very comfortable playing there. He can play as an anchorman, as a halfback, as a DM, whatever we want him to play at, that's where he can play. He's on 125 grand a week, which is a lot. He's 32 years old, and what I really liked about him, his physicals are still there, and even if he drops off just a little bit, technically, he's absolutely amazing. His anticipation, composure, concentration, decisions, determination, leadership, positioning, teamwork, work rate, they're all really, really, really good. So I think we can allow for a little bit of a drop-off physically, and I think he's still going to do a really good job. I think he's an upgrade on Barrios, if I'm honest. Technique's good, passing is fine, tackling's fine. A lot of his mentals, though, are going to sort of overcome the physical and technical if there's slight deficiencies there. I think he'll do really, really well. Let me know what you think in the comments. He's already valued at way more than we paid for him. This isn't one of it. This is just literally a 2-year contract. Sort of use him up and then chip him out. Yeah, think of it as it's like a one-night stand of football signings. But we're going him for 2 years. He's going to do a good job for us, and then we're going to move him on basically. But Axel Witsel is now an Everton player. It's been a busy few days here at Everton because we have now signed their goalkeeper. It is Lafont that comes in, 50 million, the transfer fee, rising up to whatever it rises up to, 65 million. You can see the add-ons here after 50 league appearances, after winning the Premier League and after winning the Champions League. 5 million for each of those. He's on 82 grand a week, which is, as I said, it's still less money, way less money, almost half of what Jordan Pickford was on. I think the main difference here between signing Lafont and Kepa, even though the transfer fee is potentially a little bit more, what we're going to save in wages over the length of that contract or length of the time they're at the club is going to more than make up for the extra transfer fee, I think. So here he is. He's our new goalkeeper. Is he better than Pickford? Let's have a look. Is he still an option to look at? Not really. We'll just assume he is. I think he's a better all-round goalkeeper, perhaps. His kicking is still not as good as Pickford, but it's fine. To be honest, concentration, as long as he can see what a blue shirt looks like, as long as he can see his teammates, I'll be relatively happy. But Alban Lafont is an Everton player as well. Alright, June 22nd, and we have potentially more trouble. Paris has come in for Stark. Now, we're not going to accept this bid, though it is £31 million going. That's what it would be worth, because that's installments. Percentage of next sale, which we're not interested in, selling, and we paid 13 million for him. So again, we'd make a nice profit. We're going to reject it, but is Stark going to kick off? That's the question. Another signing, it's possibly our last signing of the window. We have signed Josh Tymon from Stoke City. He's an English left back, so this is our new backup left back. He's definitely an upgrade on Anthony Robinson. We paid 10 million for him. We're paying him 45 grand a week, which is a little bit more than I would arguably like. But I think we've got a really, really good backup there. Just a good all-round solid player. And I think he could actually challenge Digne for first team spot as well. So we paid to see it's a fee of 10 million, potentially rising to 16. You can see 50 games, winning the Premier League and winning the Champions League. The only problem we have now is the wages. We are a little bit over. About 200 grand a week over. We've still got We've still got Coleman and we've still got Barrios on the books for about another week. When those two leave, it's about 120 grand a week off. So that makes that look a little bit better than. The downside to that is that Luis Felipe is about to sign a new contract, more or less double your money. So that'll sort of add another 50 grand a week onto it. And Canente as well, while we're talking about contract renewals, he has also renewed his contract, a much, much bigger contract for him that reflects, I think, the fact that he's one of our better midfielders. Where is he here? Canente. He is on now 65 grand a week. He was on like 9 or 10 or something. So a big contract for him as well, but I think we're very well deserved. Is there anything else I want to do? I don't necessarily think so. We'll kind of play it by ear from here. I am wondering, instantly I sort of look, where else can we improve? I'm wondering if we can improve is maybe centre midfield. I'm wondering if we loan Morrow out for a year. He's a decent enough backup though, isn't he? yeah, anyway, we'll wait and see. Oh, there is one other minor in, actually, before I forget. We did sign a young striker. We're just redoing the staff right now. I'll just go to him here. It's going to be easier, I think. Young striking option. Where has he gone? No, there we go. The reason I can't find him is that he's in the under-23s. Stephen Fraser, 17-year-old Scottish striker, a promising striker. We paid nothing for him. We paid 51 grand for him. The scouts found him. I thought we've got absolutely nothing to lose there. So he's a prospect. To be in the under-23s this year. We might give him a run out in some cup games if if the opportunity arises. But a decent all-round prospect, actually. Finishing composure. If these things sort of develop as they could, he was rated as a promising striker. He could prove quite a bit of business for us. But as of right now, very much just a wait and see on him. Okay, we have an out to report. We're cleaning up the squad a little bit. Henry Okunkuru, I did like him. He wanted to leave. He wanted first team football. We couldn't guarantee it to him. He was on 30 grand a week. So we've sold him. He's gone to Bournemouth. You can see the fee there, 14.25 million. We're paying a little bit of his wages, but nothing too much. And the fee is actually 17.75 million. We've got a little bit of a sell on there if he was to leave. And to be honest, he's a decent player. So if he does move on, they could well make a little bit. There could well be a profit on the sell on. But anyway, Henry Okunkuru or Onyekuru, he has left Everton. The transfer window has now closed, business is wrapped up, and as you can see, we did not sign anybody else. We actually almost turned a profit this transfer window. We spent we got in 63 million. It's behind my head, you can't see, but we spent 73. So only actually spent 10 million pounds, which is quite good. Just to recap of those that are left, Pickford has finally left the building, and good riddance to him. Seamus Coleman, he's gone off to Inter Milan for 15 million pounds. Wilmer Barrios as well, he has gone off to Italy as well to Fiorentina. And Henry Onyekuru has gone off to Bournemouth. Good luck to him. He was a backup. He wanted first team football, as I said earlier, and so we've got rid of him. Two of our younger players have gone out on loan as well. Seb Kirk, he might come off for us. He's probably not going to, though, to be honest. And then we sent off this other striker that could be decent, but again, I'm not convinced. Hopefully these guys will play well, and we might be able to get interest in them elsewhere and sell them on that way. But the big ones, we have 4 big signings, or 3 big signings, and Stephen Fraser. But let's not worry, let's not insult him by saying that. Axel Witsel has come in as a 2-year deal, 12 million, or just under 13 million pounds from Dortmund, 125 grand a week, which is a lot of money. But I think he's basically in there to replace Wilmer Barrios. Hopefully he won't get sent off. His mentals are amazing. Oh, look, you can't quite see that. His mentals are amazing, and I think he'll, even if he does slow up a little bit physically, he'll still be able to do a job for us. Albin Lafont, this is our replacement for Jordan Pickford, and I think he's actually better, I think. Can we do a direct comparison here? Can we compare with... no, we can't. You know what we can do, though? If we click on Jordan Pickford, we can compare the two of them. I actually think we've done better. I think we've improved. The only thing that Pickford does a little bit better, Pickford is in the green, is the distribution. Really, I mean, eccentricity, I don't really care about either way. The only thing he does better is distribute, and even that is not that big of a difference. So I think we've actually upgraded. We've got wages off the books in doing so as well. Transfer fee, obviously, we've got 50 million rising to 65. We've paid for it, but I think we've done quite well there. Stephen Fraser, not one for this year, just to see if he comes off a bit. We paid 51 grand to Motherwell. He'll play in our under 23s this year, and if he does a good job, who knows, maybe he'll get a first team spot at some time in the future. But if not, we'll sell him for a profit, won't we? Almost guaranteed. And the last one was Josh Timon. I did want to try and upgrade at left back as a backup to Lewis Digne, and we've done that. Timon is definitely better than Anthony Robinson. We didn't sell Robinson. I was tempted by it. He's only on 19 grand a week, which is a little bit of change, I guess, for a third choice left back. But we'll keep him around. If he starts complaining, we'll get rid of him. But if he doesn't complain, there's no need necessarily to get rid of him. If we do look at the finances, you can see 38 million still in the transfer budget. We might just bump up the wages so it doesn't look like we're going over. But we're still in the ballpark of where our wage budget was anyway. So I think we've done quite well. If we do look at the wages, they've gone up a little bit. So 2 million 600 whatever that is, 2.06 million. We're now at 2.2 million. So we've gone up a little bit. But I think we've actually strengthened the squad as well. Now, a lot of the reason for that increase in wages is players that have signed new deals. Players that have signed new deals include include Luis Felipe. We'll see the thing here. So Tar is now on 85 grand a week. Luis Felipe is now on 100 grand a week. Nick Stark is now on 86 grand a week. And as I said earlier, we did also sign Canente to a new deal as well. He is on 65 grand a week. And to wrap up the new contracts, Vlasic is on 75 grand a week. So some big wage increases there. But the good news is that we've kept all our defenders. There was a few bids come in, Manchester United and Paris for Stark, but we rejected them. He didn't seem to complain. Tar had a bid come in for him as well from somebody. I forget who it was. He didn't complain. Digne, he has had... Where's Digne gone? He still has Milan, I think, or Chelsea now. But Milanovic coming in trying to loan him. A decent enough loan fee with an option to buy at the end of the season, but we weren't interested in that, so we've kept him as well. And just that one bid for Davy Selke as well. Now, transfer windows are still open for some of Europe, I believe. So maybe the threat isn't completely past there, but we certainly won't be selling anybody now. Terry Cook wanted by Spurs as well. It's behind my head. You probably can't see that, can you? Bernard's wanted by Inter and Barcelona. Hopefully nothing will come of that. I think we're pretty good. To be honest, he's on 140 grand. We could maybe do with getting rid of old Bernard there, but we won't be doing that. I love Bernard. He's a really, really good player for us. So let's have a quick look now at the team that we have for this upcoming year, and I'm pretty excited by it, to be honest. This is the formation we'll use with this, or pushing someone forward into a number 10 role. On the number 10 role, we have options, but really that's Vlasic. We can play Canente there, we can play Gomez there, but essentially it'll be Vlasic or no one. Striking options, 4 good options, I think. Davy Selke is the undisputed number 1, the king, our big German toffee. We have Calvert-Lewin to play as a backup, along with Terry Cook, who is doing pretty well in pre-season, and Bastien Trevor, or Trevert, or however you want to say that, other young striker. I think we're okay there. We could also, at a stretch, play Vlasic up top as well. Wingers, now what I do love about our wingers is that essentially they can all play both sides. So Bernard, as I said, absolute class. Richarlison, really, really good. Rafinha, arguably our best player in last year. He's there as well, as with Adamola Lookman. We do have Calvert-Lewin, who can play on the wing if needed, more on the left. The other person that we kept, and we put him in the squad with Henry Onyekuru departing, is Josh Bowler. He came through the club, did really well away on loan last year. I want to say in League One. So with Henry leaving the club, it leaves a space in the Premier League squad. So we've registered him, so he's a backup option there as well. So wingers, I'm really, really happy with our wingers, to be honest. Midfield options, now the more attacking side of midfield. Sergio Gomez, a wonder kid. We know what he can do. He's amazing. Canente, absolute beast as well. Another wonder kid. Sander Berg can play up in midfield. He can pretty much play anywhere in midfield, old Sander Berg. He's a good option to have. Nicola Morrow as well. I was tempted to loan him out. We've kept him. He's a decent backup option, so I decided to keep him. And Danny Drinkwater as well. Here on loan again for this year, 30 grand a week, and we'll decide sort of towards the end of the year what we want to do with him when his contract at Chelsea expires. But I'm happy to have him at the club. More the attacking side of things, obviously Tom Davies. As the box-to-box midfielder, does quite well there. Axel Witsel can play in numerous roles in midfield as well. Bobby Carroll, he can do a job. He's young, but he can still do a job. Alex Denny as well, young, but can fill in when needed. And Vlasic, as I said, he's not going to be playing here. He's going to be further forward, but we haven't seen how he's developing. So that's Vlasic's attributes. The anchor man, the DM, as I said, Witsel is sort of the number 1 man there. We do have Sander Berg that can back him up. We also have Nick Stark, who can play in there. Pennington as well, who can play in there. And Stuart Taylor, again, an option to play in there. A lot of those guys, they're also the centre defensive options. So Tar, we know, is an absolute beast in the air. Luis Felipe, another good option at centre-back. Pennington is... Again, he can play centre-back as well. Holgate can play here or at right-back. We're going to try using it both roles, to be honest. And Taylor, we've just seen him. Left-back options, Digne, absolute quality, as is Timon. He's actually not that far behind him in terms of ability. So given he's an English player as well, I think he's actually going to turn into a really good signing for us. And we know Anthony Robertson as well there as a backup. The right side, as I said, Holgate already. Holgate, we've had to promise him some first-team football to keep him happy. His contract's up the end of this year, so I want to try and keep him happy and see if we can extend his contract, and if so, how much he's going to cost. We may look to sell him in January, though. But John Joe Kenny, I think, will be our first choice right back for most of the year. Loic Milo is just an ever-improving option as well. He may actually end the year as our first choice right back, despite only being 17. As I said, Mason Holgate can do a job there for us. And we do, of course, have Jamar or Jamar, however you would pronounce that. Just again, another good young option. Was tempted to loan him out. We may still do that if something comes in. But, he's another option we can have. A good young player there. The goalkeeping, we're really well served now. Alban Lafont, I think he's going to do a really, really good job for us. He's a world-class goalkeeper, as you can see. We've paid world-class money for him, but I'm really, really excited by him. Then we have Rajkovic, who'll be at the backup again this year. To be honest, we could probably have just kept him as the number one, and he would have done fine. But he's a really strong, solid backup option. And then we have some youngsters, 16, 17-year-olds. But for now, Nicholas Hansen will be the third choice. He can do a job. His first touch he just has a brick as a foot. But otherwise, he's a solid enough third choice option, I think. And that's it. That is our team. That's the Everton team for the upcoming season, the 21-22 season. I think it's solid. I think it's good. Let me know what you think in the comments. I think we've strengthened where we need to. We've got rid of some of the rubbish. Almost more crucially, we didn't lose anybody. I was worried we were going to lose some of our defenders here. We didn't want to lose, but I think we're solid at the back. We've got some good young attacking players in midfield. Our wingers are absolute superstars, and we've got men that can finish chances. I'm excited for this season, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. But until Monday, when we'll get the new season underway, we'll go through pre-season, which has been a little bit hot and cold, but promising signs are there, and we'll get our season underway. We've got Manchester United first game, so nice simple start for us. But that's all for Monday, guys. If you have enjoyed this, please do hit thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Make sure you subscribe and ring the bell. And I've been Aussie Bill, and I'll see you on Monday. Take care.